How do you determine these trends?
Well, current events form future trends. The seeds of tomorrow are planted in today's major social, economic, and political events.
Trends forecaster Gerald Celente. He accurately predicted the fall of the Soviet Union, the crash of '87, and the housing collapse. He is now predicting what he calls the Greatest Depression.
Gerald, you guys have been, and I don't know if it's you guys or maybe just you, been right on the money with a lot of these predictions. I mean, I can go through a list. You know, you predicted what, the dot-com bubble before it happened, the real estate bubble and the crash before it happened,
that's right,
and the war in Iraq, and on and on and on.
How are you, Gerald?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. We talk to you at least once a year, I'm pretty sure, and you give your predictions. Tell us a little bit about what you had predicted for last year. What came true? What did you miss on?
Oh, we hit them all last year. We had forecast the uprisings that were going to happen, the clamp down on justice, that people would realize that this economy hasn't turned around. We called a wake-up call. Virtually everything we forecast last year, we hit out of the park.
We're living in an extraordinarily fragile time as a globe right now, are we not?
Like nothing we've ever seen in our lifetime, or I would say anyone's lifetime. There's not one thing the government can do to solve this problem. They don't have the intelligence, and they don't have the methodology.
Okay.
You can't spend your way out of problems. You have to produce your way out of problems. This isn't even economics 101. It's economics for dummies. You can't print money based on nothing and expect it to fix the problem.
See,
We're going to go into a depression that's going to be worse than the Great Depression.
You actually believe that there's going to be a revolution, food riots, tax riots. It's going to get that bad?
It's going to get that bad. When people get hungry and desperate, things get ugly. And I'll tell you something else why it's going to really get ugly. Crime is going to go to levels we've never seen before. My saying is, when people lose everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it.
This is the year it all starts falling apart. There is no recovery. Housing prices have fallen worse than they have during the Great Depression. What more do people have to know? And it's not only in the U.S., it's everywhere. And those bubbles now that they created in other countries to try to prop it up, those real estate bubbles, they're collapsing as well. The entire financial system is collapsing. Look what's going on over in China. All of the empty buildings. Look at the home sales and real estate market that's in steep decline now. The only way they kept this global Ponzi scheme afloat following the panic of '08 was for the central banks around the world to keep juicing money into the system to keep it going. If you follow the leaders, you're going to fail. We're going into this, you better learn how to fight for your survival in intelligent ways. We're going into the Greatest Depression. It's going to be worse than the '29 Depression and the '30s Depression.
Why?
Back then, most people didn't own homes. There was no such thing as a home equity loan. Back then, people didn't have credit cards. There weren't $14 trillion in debt. Back then, we had trade surpluses. We had budget surpluses. You're going to lose your pensions. You're going to lose your benefits. There's nothing there. Economic martial law. I'm warning people, as I've said, I've been having difficulty getting my money out of the bank, and people are emailing me every day and telling me of their problems as well. So again, I don't give financial advice. You know my motto, think for yourself. All I'm saying is that the whole European system is collapsing. We saw that phony bond sale the other day, the last 2 days in Italy. Here the ECB dumped $600 billion into the banks so they could buy bonds. So this is collapsing. I believe they're going to call an economic martial law. This is the year it all starts falling apart. Battlefield America is being put in place, I believe, to take care of the economic martial law, because there's going, just imagine if the nation shuts down, the chaos that we're going to see. And from the martial law, the economic martial law. And so things are being put in place. During the
this time of Christmas, let us all remember that the only time Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, became angry and violent is when he picked up a whip and drove the money changers out of the temple. And that's a fact. And that's what's going on now. The money changers are in control of the temple. They're controlling everybody's lives. And they're driving this country into ruin. The technocrat takeover. And again, it's fascism. The merger of state and corporate powers. Let's stop calling them technocrats. Who's in Italy? Mario Three-Card Monte. Who's over in Greece? Greece, the cradle of democracy. Here's to you, democracy. We just put in a technocrat. Papademos, where's he from? Oh, this cat actually, he did a stint with the Federal Reserve. You mean Mr. Celente? Both of those guys are bankers? That's right. The money changers have taken over the temple in Athens, the temple in Rome, and of course the temple in Berlin, in Paris, the U.S., everywhere. It's not a technocratic takeover. It's the end of the forward democracy that they've tried to tell us that we have, and it's fascism. Capisce? Let's call it what it is, Mario Monti. You should know. It's happening everywhere. We believe there's going to be a combination of events. One on the geopolitical front, something going on with Israel and its neighbors, and something going on with Iran and Syria, ganging up against those two. I'm saying this because it all ties back into the money. So now what happens, they come up with, whether it's false flag or real, we have to protect our people because of these evil people over there that did this. That's why we're calling a bank holiday. That's right. You can't get your money out. And when you get it out finally, it's going to be worth a fraction of what it's going to be. And now it's collapsing. When all else fails, they take you to war. So get ready, folks. Put your flags out. They're going to do it again. It's time we bring the manufacturing back and deal with each other, do business with each other, rather than doing it with the Chinese, with the Indonesians, with the Vietnamese, and the rest.
When will this revolution that you have forecasted in your Trends Journal happen, and what will ignite it?
It's going to be a tax revolt. We're going to start seeing a tax revolt. They used to say to us, you know, we agree with what you're saying, but can't you write about something positive? Yeah, it's like the ship going down and saying, oh, doesn't the band sound great?
Right. Well, it is positive if you know what's coming, because then you can prepare for it.
But people are afraid of the truth.
So what is it that you would like for viewers to do with the information that you are presenting right now?
What we hope they do with the information is to take proactive measures.
Gerald Celente, Trends Research Institute, has accurately predicted a whole host of issues: economic collapse, the '89 stock market crash, Starbucks boom, on and on and on.